sure you do not mean to say, shall we head out to find the succubus?
Let's go down to succubus
Head on
again.
the fuck, Benny.
Here, I think this will be more accurate.
What with
to...
Benny is actually one of the companions. You can make. He's a demon. You can have him. He's willing to do it. Have
No,
Benny.
too annoying.
Fuck no.
There, I think that name's more descriptive as to who I am than the other one. It's in roll 20.
Walking heresy. There we go. That's about it.
But yeah, if we're gonna head out, and we'll also probably
Keep
see the
that name
connector on the
anonymous
way
until
for
next
Thorian to get a new weapon.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep this name, and anytime Adam asks, "What's that about?" Just
Honestly,
pretend
I'm
I didn't hear him.
split between the back alley shakedown artist or the walking heresy.
Walking here.
But yeah, before
change.
like everybody's getting ready to leave, I want to head back to Rohana. As everybody's
Okay.
everybody
Much
starts
welcome.
leaving. Basically, I want to connect with a demon again. Yeah, I've seen what my party's willing to do. I think the whole holding out on bullshit is past.
As you merge again, you see that the demon is not calm like before. He's in a more ticked off and angry mood. What now?
What you're willing to do to me. It's a curse, isn't it?
Of course it is. My whole existence is a curse. I am a walking book of
Falling
curses.
in my skin. Sorry.
Land this curse.
But yeah, it's like. So that's what you're trying to do.
Did you have fun chatting with that little whelp inside that little girl? In my prime, I would have sneezed and killed him instantly.
Oi, bitch! You wanna fucking fight me, mate? Beat your ass.
You could have told me what it was you were doing. The curse.
Why? Because saying the word curse is not gonna immediately make you ricochet.
From you.
Let's be honest,
yeah,
if
you're
I
right.
said that what I was gonna do is curse you, would you accept my offer?
You're right. You're one of my least favorite demons currently.
Oh, trust me, the feeling is mutual. Do you have any idea how annoying it is to watch you grow from a child to a grown-up woman? I'd rather die some days.
Hey, I wasn't that bad growing up.
You were so vulnerable, so squishy. How do you humans survive?
Squishy? I made pet wolves when I was 6.
Like I said, pathetic.
Every fight is already boring to me. How boring would this power make them?
You are a small fish in a small tank. The world is a shark pool.
From what everybody's saying, you're right. If what you're doing is basically using a curse to remove my limits, then fine.
You humans can roughly use about 80% of your true strength. You are unconsciously bound by your own limits so that you do not break down your bodies. If I remove that with a curse, you will have access to your full strength and potential at the risk of damaging your body. But even with that risk in mind, in time, you will grow accustomed. If I have learned something about you humans, is that your adaptive powers are like nothing I have seen. It is something you possess that no demon does. Your ability to adapt is remarkable. Like I said, while dangerous in time, you will grow accustomed for it. And no matter how much others try, you will simply be stronger than them.
Okay. I'll accept this curse. If it means soothing this bond, doing this so Rohana doesn't, then I will remove my limits and risk my body.
Finally you see reason. Good. Good.
Well, to be fair, she was hesitating because she thought her company was like all goody goody, pure human. Then she found out, no, one of them's married, so you know.
Yes, oh goody goody, let's kill 100 people strong.
Okay, apart from the psychopathic killing part.
I only killed one person.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yes, and you
yeah.
turned him into a skeleton. That's not very subtle.
Yeah, yeah.
I would just like to pipe up with the fact that like the worst psychopath in this little group is like one person who does not interact with demons.
See, it's the demons that calm us down.
Actually not here right now.
Like the people talking to fucking demons are like the most sane people in the group. Like what?
The demon
Or
not
slowly
sane, but,
stands
you know.
up from where he's
It's
sitting.
exposure therapy. Sorry.
The demon slowly stands up from where he's sitting and he reaches out with his sharp claws. One is holding the heart, the other one reaches out for your forehead and he touches your forehead. You feel a burning sensation as you visibly see a curse materialize and take form, and it sips into your skin and disappears inside your body, burning every muscle in your and your senses. You feel sharp pain, but the next moment your entire body relaxes and you instantly feel as if you could almost float. You have been trained almost to death by Rohana for most of your life, so you are very keenly aware of your limits. You can clearly sense those limits were just completely shattered, and you feel strength like you've never felt before. And as you're about to get excited over it, the demon again pipes up. Remember, you will damage your body if you're not careful. You need time to get used to this. Once you grow strong enough and this power becomes truly yours, we shall speak again and I can make you stronger.
We see. But before I say this, thank you.
He looks offended. Spare me. There is no need for thanks. I am merely prolonging my life.
Yeah, it wasn't that sincere anyway. Goodbye.
He doesn't say anything, he quickly sits back down as you leave.
Sorry, come on.
Do you want me to straight up tell you what just happened to you, or do you want it to be private?
Private. Since I'm not probably going to mention what I just did.
Okay, I'll tell you after the session what just happened to you.
Okay. I don't think you can remove things in the Roll20.
Shit, everyone spam
It's
chat.
fine, don't worry about it.
I'm just gonna do a bunch of rolls.
But yeah,
If I clear the chat...
no,
there.
you wouldn't. It wouldn't affect it, dude. Because chat's individual. Actually, maybe if you clear the chat, thingy couldn't be able to get it. But anyway.
Yeah, since I'm the GM, I think maybe if I clear it, it's gonna be fine.
But yeah, basically,
How does it look? Was it cleared?
no. But I think because you cleared it, he won't be able to get the logs for it.
Okay, well, that's probably good enough. Right.
Oh, as
With that done,
hang
what
on.
do you guys
Wait,
do?
this is important. Before I leave, I take a note, write on it, say, love you, goodbye, like, on my iris, sticks on her head.
By the way, since I forgot if the demon mentioned, but obviously you wanna keep this a fucking secret from Rohana, right?
Yes. So basically, I've wrote it down and licked the back and stuck it on her head. It's like, okay,
Would
guys,
Gio
let's go.
be able to tell the curse?
No, unfortunately. Plus,
Fair
even
enough.
if he could, he'd say that that's intrusive and they'll notice that he's there, so he's very reluctant to try and snoop on them.
Essentially, I
Oh
don't
no,
think
no,
he
no!
did
I'm not
anything.
making him do it.
Basically, I don't think he's done anything to me. He just removed my limits.
Yeah.
As you walk back into the room, Gio doesn't say anything, but Vira, you immediately sense that because through his emotions, you sense that something inside Iris has changed. She's different.
All right. I'm not gonna say anything about that because I can probably assume from what he's talking about, like curses earlier, that might be what have happened, but I'm not going to say anything because that's private for her.
Okay. Well.
You guys make your way to the fanciest tavern in the capital, and guess what? Even here it's busy as fuck because of what's happening. It wasn't just you trying to get food at lunchtime. This place is jam-packed. You can see a huge mob outside the tavern ready to riot because they cannot be seated inside. However, you have invites and you guys are let in without any hustle and bustle. Of course, as you go in, behind you hear, you fucking a-hole, I've been waiting for 2 hours, what is this bullshit? Please, can I just have dinner? I've been waiting all day, come on!
I give them like the most awful stink eye. Just stare him down.
As you do that, some of them shake back with terror, the other ones start rioting.
I mean, you did say this was a tavern, but it's a fancy tavern. Like, how fancy? How underdressed are we?
Oh, you guys are just fine. Like,
I'm never under.
We have a barbarian in loincloth, someone in basically a hunter's outfit.
Oh wow, yeah, okay, maybe
oh
walking
yeah,
in a
you're closely
loincloth.
underdressed. Like, everybody here looks at least half decent and fancy. Like, there's actually a few noblemen in here. But
I
here's the
am
thing.
never underdressed.
This tavern
Alyssia cringes. It's like,
this tavern is not very picky about the way people dress if they have the right invitation. And you have the right invitation.
But the problem is we get noticed because we stick out like a sore thumb.
That is absolutely true, but
I'm
I wouldn't worry too much about that.
To buy Theron
As it happens,
Alyssia always worries about that.
guys, as it happens, you don't have to worry about sticking out too much because that was gonna happen either way. Benny is not being subtle. There is a huge table in the middle of the tavern, sport with all sorts of wonderful dishes, and you can see Benny jumping on his seat, excitedly screaming for you to join him. Yes, over here! Yes, you're here! Yes! This is good, this is wonderful! Marvelous even! Yes, thank you friends, join me, yes!
I'll walk over to the table. Just a note, I'm from a noble background, so I'm never underdressed.
Aha. Yes, quite lovely. Yes, welcome. Please, I've taken the liberty of ordering some dishes. Oh, maybe some of them have gone cold. Oh, please. If you see anything cold, let me know. I will let them make us something new. Yes, immediately. Only the finest for my new friends. Only the finest. Yes.
Alyssia kind of
You
wants
can
to
see that
slap
a
her
lot of patrons around are super annoyed because he's being very loud.
Alyssia kind of want to slap herself like for not dressing the part, since you know they're going where they're going. It's like fuck. Okay.
Alyssia, yes, how avant-garde, yes, I dig it. Is this the new fashion? Is this gonna be what's in with the ladies in town soon? Should I invest?
Alyssia doesn't show an outright reaction, but her private reaction is basically like, how the fuck does he know my name?
I figured it might help bridge the gap between us if I tell you a few things up front, if that's alright with you.
Wait, you wish to offer us work, is that it?
Well, technically, not quite. It's complicated. Basically, I have gathered quite important information that will prove very, very beneficial to you. While I am not aware of what you intend to do now that you have gathered Noble Moon under one place, I assume that it must be very important since it's been, well, many years since this has happened last. Yes, I do not know what you will be doing, but I know how I can be helpful nonetheless.
All right.
As for my payment for offering you this information and help, I simply wish to know if I can trust you to return the favor at a later time should I ever come in need of your services. I assure you, I will ask of nothing illegal. I simply wish to make some friends. I benefit from making friends, that's all.
Oh, that's all well and good. I say we
Favors
listen.
makes the world go round, no?
Yes, quite so. I can see that you understand, Alyssia, perfectly. Yes, friends make all the difference in the world, and I love having many friends. Benny is a social person. Benny loves friends.
Exactly.
Alyssia said, he's not like that. Alyssia said nothing about friends. He just said favors make the world go round.
Anyway, I agree to the terms. Tell me what you want.
But yes, you said that, but he immediately twisted it into friends. To
Well,
him, it's
yeah.
quote-unquote the same thing.
Oh yeah, I know. And this is basically smiling and thinking, yeah, whatever he says.
Would you be interesting to take me up on my offer and owe me a favor in exchange for the information that I'm willing to provide you with? Of course,
resist it.
whether you choose to do anything is completely up to you.
Iris didn't even flipping hesitate. She just said yes. Come on.
Oh, how lovely. But, of course, are the rest of you okay with this arrangement?
Yes, this is fine.
Alyssia looks to Theron to await his answer.
What about you, Loinkov?
Exactly, cheating.
I mean, Theron. Yes, Theron.
Well, I suppose if we don't, it was a waste coming here.
Quite pragmatic. Yes, an excellent attitude. Very good business sense. I smell it.
Wait, who disconnected?
I don't think anybody did.
Oh, right, no, we were just for, like, yeah, never mind. I'm an idiot.
Yes, well, since we're at an agreement, let us proceed with the details. He actually leans in closer so he can speak in a lower voice so, you know, any noisy ears don't overhear what's happening at your table. He actually raises his hand a little bit and makes a motion, and the music in the tavern gets louder, almost obnoxiously so, just so you can have your privacy.
Check.
Fair enough.
Well, like I said, I do not know exactly what kind of work you will be partaking, but no matter what type it is, I know how I can be useful in any situation. For instance, for the capital and the kingdom in general, there is a certain noble in town that carries himself with quite a lot of authority, not just among the guards and soldiers, but also with some less than reputable people that like to, shall we say, patron the streets at night. He makes a cutthroat sign with his neck to indicate thieves and murderers and assassins. So basically it's the kind of guy that dips his hands on both sides of the law. So this individual in person has a very significant ring. This ring carries his authority, and he has made quite a lot of friends in town and all over the place, you see. He gives this ring to his most trusted friends. Those that carry the ring find themselves knowing and getting the help of all the right individuals. You will benefit greatly from having this ring. Of course, getting the ring is quite difficult, assuming, of course, because I assume none of you even know the Duke in question. However, there is a thing that you could, per se, borrow it from his mansion and use it without him knowing.
So steal it.
I assume that is not something you're unwilling to do?
How will he not know that we have borrowed the ring?
Well, he keeps many, and he has distributed a few around his friends. I'm sure that one missing would not be a thing. Plus, keep in mind, I know exactly how the ring looks. I can make you a duplicate so you can, shall we say, swap it out for the real thing.
Ah, well, I guess I know whose job that's going to be. She looks
If
towards
he
it.
can make a duplicate, why doesn't he just use the duplicate?
Because
Well-
the ring is magical. Is it not?
Aha! See? Somebody gets it. Alyssia, yes, quite wonderful girl.
Sorry, I'm not that well versed in magic.
Well,
Wait, what?
yes, that's quite alright, dear. But yes, unfortunately, it is a magical ring. It does have some particularly, shall we say, difficult runes on it that nobody seems to be able to replicate. while I can promise you a half decent replica, the runes are a whole different manner. So it would be quite impossible to pass it off as the real thing, I'm afraid. However, for the purpose of swapping one into a pile of many rings, that should be quite simple, yes.
Huh. So, how heavily guarded is the mansion then?
No guards. I can see that surprised you a bit. Well, let me be more specific. Like I said, the Duke in person has many friends, both in high and low places. His mansion, while quite lavish, was actually dirt cheap to acquire because it's in a shady part of town. The thing is, he knows everybody there, so nobody would dare cause any problems for him. Thus, he needs no protection.
But that
Because
will
you're
not...
not affiliated with anybody. If you decide to mess with him, you will have no repercussions for it.
But none of those things would necessarily stop a burglar who was trying to acquire things that did not belong to them in the first place.
Yes, that is the thing. A local burglar would stand no chance because the local thugs will find out immediately and punish him for it, since the Duke has connections with them. But you're not local thugs, so it's clearly an easy job for you. Almost too easy, actually.
Gee
He does
golly,
not-
I hope this isn't a trap. Not in character.
Of course. Like I said,
And he does not have it.
I can guarantee you that there are no guards because the man is protected from both high and low places. He has no enemies.
And he has-
Honestly, I don't even know if he locks up his door at night. He probably doesn't.
And he has no surveillance of a magical nature?
Oh, of course not. It's just a mansion, my dear. The stuff you speak of, why the church would have a field day, that would be impossible.
Well, not if he has the right friends in the right places.
Well, I guess you're right, but... Huh... Oh, Benny hasn't thought about that. Yes! Wonderful, clever girl. Yes, I love it, Alyssia. Do you wish to come work for me?
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing in character. It's like this
I
fucking
know,
guy.
I know. Do you wish to come work for me? Yes, you would make an excellent apprentice.
Sadly, I don't believe your line of work would suit me. But it's nice to be appreciated, and I thank you for the offer nonetheless.
My dear, and if you do change your mind, Benny is more than willing to welcome you. Yes, a talent should always be scouted and appreciated. Yes. But yes, that is the first of the jobs that I can offer you. I can share more details about the place and the person more in detail if you are interested in partaking. If not, we can leave the matter as it is. It's quite alright. I have more information to share with you after all. Shall we move on to the second case while you decide on whether the first is to your liking then?
I think it's a good idea.
Right, of course. The second one is a bit more, shall we say, adventurous. It's more romantic, shall we say. Now let me explain before you think that Benny is making things up, because I'm telling you, it's quite extraordinary. This information was quite pricey. I will let you know that Benny had to go on bread and water for quite a while to get his hands on this one, as it is something that presumably not even the church knows about. I am sure you're quite aware of the tragic war that happened almost 20 years ago when we lost our dear king and his dear daughter, yes?
I
Yes.
believe most people are aware of this.
If you need a refresher, you can look it up under Battle at the River of Rust, actually.
Yes. Wait, it's like, yeah, I know.
By the way, Ash, if you wanna just pop up from time to time these stuff so you can show off my hard work to the people on the internet, that'd be great. Just saying.
Yes, I don't worry, I will. I'll make sure.
Right. So Benny continues. Well, as sadly as you know, most of the king's men died with him, but not all of them. Some survived. Sadly, they had to go into hiding because of the, change of times, with the church becoming more prominent and our new stances on how we should view the past, mages and everything else. But I have information that one of his high-ranking generals actually survived and is actually nearby the capital and has been hiding for almost 20 years. And if that is true, they should still have a banner from the old army with them. Why, a banner like that, shown to the right people, it can mean a huge difference. If you have that banner, you would immediately be recognized as someone of value from the old king's regime. Well, the king is not technically, his knowledge of him is frowned upon by the current nobles and people in power, but the people still remember those glory days. They still believe in his cause and his character. Many will flock to support you, and not just normal peasants, but soldiers, even generals. Many who remember the king with fond memories will become your allies almost instantly, just because you have that banner. It is quite valuable.
Wow, that sounds heavy.
Not to mention, think of it. We know almost nothing about that war, and yet there is a survivor. What can you learn from them? Why, I venture that information would be absolutely priceless.
Where are they then? If they're so important, why has nobody else found out about them?
That's the thing. They live in an abandoned mansion in a forest that has a lot of ill rumors about it. It is presumably heavily damaged by magic and enchanted. Nobody has been able to find the mansion. It is like the magic prevents people from finding it. Worse still, demons have seemed to have made it their home recently, so the place is quite dangerous.
Suddenly I understand.
I must say, out of all the tasks that I offer you, this clearly seems to be the most difficult one, so I wouldn't recommend it. You should value your lives, but the rewards, the rewards will be glorious.
Who
think we
is
could do
this general?
Let me see. He starts looking for some notes in his sleeve. He actually had them prepared instead of in his pockets, which is, as you know, as a thief, an assassin, pockets are dangerous. But in his sleeve, it's way more secure, so he clearly knows his shit.
Yeah.
I believe the name is Cynthia Hamlet. I believe that she was quite renowned, that she was second in strength only to the warrior king himself.
Wait, do I know who this Cynthia Hamlet is?
Yes, you would know that she came from noble birth, and she is indeed rumored to have been almost as strong as the warrior king himself. They would often spar as nobody else was on their level, and they would basically become great rivals that would bring each other to higher and higher feats of strength. They're both incredibly powerful swordsmen, with her being second only to him on the battlefield, and they have never had a match. They have never had another match their strength with the sword.
Yeah, she must be incredibly old by this point.
This rolls into the fact that actually Selena herself has never battled neither her father nor this woman, so it's not known who exactly is the strongest. If nothing else, you know that this woman is clearly exceptionally strong. In her prime, there have been legends of her killing 3 foes with a single swipe, and there have been battlefields where she has single-handedly decimated small platoons.
And she's in a mansion, surrounded by demons.
Abandoned mansion. And keep in mind, these demons are a recent thing. They started making the mansion their living spot a couple of months ago.
It seems a little far-fetched, but it's maybe worth checking out.
Perhaps she's possessed.
That would make it even worse, given the
To be fair, we can't even assess whether we can't really say whether that's the shall we say the real McCoy. Maybe it's not the person in question. Maybe she's dead. It's been 20 years. Nobody knows. Maybe she's not even there anymore. But think of it. Even if there's the slightest possibility of her being there, what could that mean? The knowledge, the prospect of getting the banner from the old army. Why, I believe that all of them are gone. There are none left. This would probably be the last one.
I say we go
Well,
for
I
it.
No, sorry.
That's what she's saying. She's saying to the group, like, I say we go for it.
While you're mulling over this one as well, let me go quickly over the last case that I have prepared for you, my friends. This is... well, I honestly was questioning whether I should bring this up since it doesn't directly benefit you much, but it is for a good cause, so I wish to run it by you nonetheless. There is a small village off the south end of the kingdom. I believe it's called Plux Gutter. And, well, it has fallen on hard times. It seems that some villagers have went missing, and considering the current situation, soldiers of the kingdom have been slow to respond to their cries for help, and nobody has batted an eye. They have been left to their own devices and suffering. Keep in mind, I'm not asking you to do a good deed. There is something in this for you, however little it may be. But that village is very renowned for its blacksmiths. I assume one of the families that has roots there, I assume you are actually familiar with. And he looks towards you, Alyssia. Gordon Steele, his lineage started there and he has roots there. So, in a way, those are his people, and they're very talented blacksmiths there that would no doubt be willing to offer you their aid if you help them.
Well, I suppose a good blacksmith is always good. It's always nice to have.
Oh, no, my dear, you're downplaying it. It is a village that is thrived on blacksmithing alone. They are all master craftsmen that have traveled the world at some point. They have a long and storied history. They are quite important. Sadly, the new regime has not been kind to them because of Gordon Steele and his past of supporting the warrior king. But trust me, they are good men, good people. If you help them, well, I doubt how useful they may be in the future for you with them having just these particular skills. It will no doubt be a good deed that they will be more than happy to repay you for.
And what is it is exactly they need our help with?
Why, the missing people, of course, my dear. Since the capital and the soldiers will not aid them, they are desperate to find help. That is how I heard about their plight. And like I said, while this is not technically considerably useful information to you, I thought I should run it by you nonetheless. It is a good deed, and I would honestly wish I could do more to help them, but sadly this is not something I can do personally, nor my connections. I was hoping that perhaps you'd be willing to partake in this venture yourselves, make a difference, and I'm sure that the people will be more than willing to repay you for your work. As for more details, sadly, I do not know much myself, but I'm sure that the villagers will be able to tell you more if you decide to undertake this job.
So
Guys,
what
keep in
was-
mind
was the-
that we have just passed the 4-hour mark, so we should be wrapping things up. Oh yeah, you have I made you
player
guys a
characters.
special journal. It's in the player characters part. It's called Party Journal. Here you can write all these things as side quests.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Hey! What? Twice?
You got to next.